Merry meet everyone. Welcome back to Midnight Fantasy Creation. Today we have a fun project. I am hoping to take a temporary tattoo and turn it into a nice little puzzle. Now these puzzle pieces do fit within each other. At least I'm pretty sure these do. The last set I got, the cheap set that I got of the puzzle molds, they fit fine. They were a little loose, but they fit fine. So these are going to be somewhat of a difficult puzzle to do because it's not like the pieces are meant specifically for that one piece. However, they cut them out. They're going to be a little wobbly, at least to my knowledge. In fact, I might just make one set of these real quick on video to make sure they fit. If not, I'm going to have to go get my other molds. I'm not going to be too happy about that either because they were handmade and they're not very level. They're not very even. That's why I bought these from Hobby Lobby. And this is the brand. This is how much they cost at Hobby Lobby. And I will link that in the descriptions below. Please let me know if those links for Hobby Lobby aren't working too well. I know people who have mentioned stuff they buy at Hobby Lobby. Don't bother putting the links below. I'm not sure if there's a reason for that. So if there is, please let me know. That would be great. I can't really tell from my end. It doesn't let me click on things and I don't know. I've been having issues. I should probably test out. Have a friend test it out for me. But if you can just let me know, that'd be great too. And then we are going to use this little fishy tattoo. Something simple. It was one of the smallest ones I had because you can make these as big as you want. I don't want to waste all that resin and time to make this huge elaborate puzzle and find out it's not going to work very well because I want to piece this together, put this on top, wet it, and then slowly, I might have to find my X-Acto blade and just break up a little bit of the pieces so you can separate them and hopefully it doesn't get ruined. And then I might top coat them because the tattoos are going to be a little tacky when you take them off. So I want to make sure that they're not going to rub off. They're going to be a little more permanent because it'd really stink if you got a puzzle and the picture just rubbed off. But I also want to do a nice, I can't find my interference blue, so I'm going to do this. It is a white blue pearl from Marbles. Theirs comes in baggies. I stick them in little containers because it's easier than the little Ziploc baggies. But you do get a good portion, so that I don't even think is half a bag. I got a lot out of it. So I will definitely link that in the descriptions below. I have used these before, and as you can see this, oh, actually, I know you can actually see that in that. Oh, there we go. It's got a nice glitter. It's got a nice blue. It's not quite like the interference, but it's fine. I could have done a nice little moon. I have a pretty flower moon, almost kind of like a dream catcher style moon tattoo, and I was thinking of doing that, but I want to do the fishes first because if this works, then I will do the moon. But I am going to take this entire bottle of Go Resin, UV resin, and I am going to put some alcohol ink right in the whole bottle. I have plenty of these, so I don't care about wasting a whole bottle on just white because if this works out well, I'm going to need a lot to make a puzzle anyways. And you don't want the puzzle pieces being 20 different shades of white. So it's just easier to do the whole bottle. And that way I can make as many pieces as I want. I am going to try and measure out how many pieces I am going to need. Not that piece. So I'm going to need at least, obviously 4 corners, but I probably will only do 2 puzzle pieces, a puzzle piece wide in between and then probably, I don't know if I want to do 2 of these. That might be too big. Yeah, 2. So it'll be 3 pieces by 4 pieces wide. And then how many these little connectors that you're going to need to fill the inside. So we are going to do that. But I want to get this ready. And I'm going to need to... Wait, is this the open one? No, I need the open one. Let's see. Yes, it is. Okay, so I'm using the Advanced White Alcohol Ink from Cheap Arts. It's a good quality for a reasonable price. If you guys like your Let's Resin brand, that will work too. I don't know. They have a ocean white that would get very white. It is a very concentrated pigment. I would definitely use very little of the ocean white if you're going to do that, if you have that at home. Other than that, I'm pretty sure they do have a white pigment, and I would do do a few drops at a time, depending on the size of the bottle that you guys have, to make sure it doesn't get too white, because this is UV. The light needs to penetrate the whole thing in order to harden. Pretty sure it would look really cool if you had liquid inside a puzzle, almost like a little shaker, if you'd even notice, like I did with one of my pendants. It didn't cure all the way, and a bubble started moving around in it. So I just put 10 drops in to start with, and I'm going to shake this up. I actually might need to heat this up real quick because it works better when it's warm. So I might stick this in some hot water to warm it up. But other than that, I'm just going to shake away and try to get this as mixed as possible. You also can get a silicone tool. You can get a silicone tool to stir it. And I'm just gonna, no, that's not even mixed enough. Hold on. I'm gonna warm this up a little bit. I'll be back. In hot water. Alright, so I put that in my sink in hot water to soften it up, I guess you can say. Because my house, like I've mentioned before, it gets very cold. And the colder the environment, the harder it is to use the UV resin, regardless of the viscosity. So while we're waiting for that to warm up, I'm just gonna coat these puzzle pieces with this pearl blue pigment powder. I'm doing good today. To give it a nice little pretty effect for the background. I don't want something too dark, but I do want to give it a little bit more of a nice water effect. I've done that on a book with the interference blue. If you guys have seen some of my videos from earlier, I know one of my biggest watched one is the temporary tattoo with the polymer resin. So I wanted to do a few more of those tattoo ones because it looks like you guys like watching those. So we are going to do a nice puzzle piece. And I'm going to make sure I'm getting all of the little nooks and crannies. This is a nice soft makeup brush. I got this for, it was either Christmas or my birthday. And I'm not going to use all the brushes, so I can spare one for this. I'm only going to use it with powders and stuff because, like I said, it's a nice soft bristle, and I think it'll work well for this. As you can tell, it is Harry Potter themed. I don't know if they're supposed to be Harry Potter themed, but I'm pretty sure that's Dumbledore's wand. One of the, not exactly like Dumbledore, but it's pretty close. And there's a whole bunch in that set that look pretty much the same. Ooh, that might have been too much. Ghosty. This stuff likes to go everywhere, by the way. Now, this mica powder is makeup grade. You can use it for makeup, but I use it for resin. I've never tried it for makeup. It's actually very pretty. I don't know if you can see that. It's a very pretty color. It's one of my favorites. All right, I'm going to go check in on that UV resin and see if it is done warming up. I shall be right back. That actually did a really good job at warming this up. Let's see if I can shake this white a little bit better. I'm definitely going to need to add way more color in that than I just did. Yeah, that's a very, very see-through white. That was 10. Let's do another 10. And then I have a tool to help stir. That should be, yeah, that's enough. Ooh, I think that might be pretty good. I'm gonna make that a little darker. Scrape around the edges. If you like, you can do this ahead of time, a nice day in advance, and let the color really sit. Ooh, careful when you're putting it back in. To give time for that alcohol ink to really spread wherever you need it. Oh, I'm supposed to put some stuff on my gloves on my hands. Alright, I got my gloves. So you should be wearing gloves for this. It is sticky, it is toxic to the skin, can cause irritation. You also should be in a very well ventilated room because it does give off fumes, although some of the resins nowadays aren't as bad as the ones back in the day. I don't know if any of you have ever played with epoxy glue. That's very similar to what this is, only it's a 2-part epoxy, and oh my gosh, does it stink. They have definitely reduced odor over the years. Oops, too fast. Fingers, because I am going to get sticky. I don't. I think I might put another 10 drops in there, maybe 20. We'll start with 10. Of course, I'm leaking all over the place. This does have an odor. This brand does have a bit of an odor, but it's not very potent. It's actually very mild. You kind of got to shove your nose right into it to even notice the smell. That's much better. Yeah, I think that's good. So that was 15 drops. I'm going to light that over there and let that sit. We'll have to cure it later under the lamp to clean it off. Or I might just wipe it, I don't know. Should be doing this in a sweatshirt. Right. So like I said, we definitely need 4 pieces for the corners. And then whatever we're going to need for the exterior and the interior. So I'm going to make as many pieces as I need, powdering in between, and we will get some water for the tattoo. My light ready, and let's pour. Ooh. Hi. Some of this is going to be clearer because it did not mix in the nozzle right. So I'm going to try and get that to come out first in each puzzle piece. Of course, you can spray this with alcohol to reduce or remove any bubbles, because I'm pretty sure I put bubbles in there when I was stirring. And you want to fill these fairly evenly because you want the pieces to be approximately the same size. Keep in mind, the more alcohol ink you put in here, the more it is going to shrink. I had a nice neon color that reacted under UV light, or black light if you will, and I put so much in it just to get it pigmented enough so you could see it. And it shrank in the mold, and it warped, and it did all these weird funky things. So be very careful how much alcohol ink you put in your resin. Where did I put my spray? I know I had, oh, here it is. So we are gonna squirt this with a little alcohol to pop any bubbles and see if I need to put any more. This one needs a little more resin. And it's best to be in a nice level surface, which I highly doubt my table's level when I can already see it shifting this way on me. So these pieces might be a little on the warp side. I really hope not. And I'm going to cure this for 90 seconds. And of course, I'll fast forward the video wherever I can. So you guys aren't watching this thing count slowly. You'll probably see it speed through real fast. Alright, and now we are going to flip these over. Pretty sure, yep, that's nice and solid, at least on the top. And then we are going to cure the bottom half. I do eventually want to get the Let's Resin's double UV lamp, so that way I can cure both top and bottom at the same time. push that a little bit. That seems pretty solid. I don't know if I want to do another, I'm tacky, another lighting. I didn't get the corners too well. I don't know if I can fix that. We'll see if we need to. All right, let's do this piece because I want to see if they fit like my other pieces do. Fit. Perfect. So they're not perfect, but they will do for what we need. You can see a little bit of the white in there. It adds a little bit of a cool effect in it. But yeah, I'm gonna have to powder those a little better. These fit in a lot tighter than the cheap ones that I got. So I don't know. There we go. Of course I need this piece over here, but that's how it's gonna look when it's, you know, put together a little bit. All right, let's make the next set. So I have this piece done, this piece done. This piece is done. Perfect. So I need another one of these. Another one of these for this corner. And then I need one of these. And then I'm going to need one of these. All right, so powder all these up. Another good thing about using the bottle instead of putting them in the cup is you don't have to worry about it curing on you under the UV light because it's already got a nice protectant. It's already in a nice protectant bottle. It's best not to drip outside of your puzzle pieces because then you have to clean them up and they can be a bit of a pain to get to fit right. Check out our next pieces. I need this one. We got that piece. This side's done. Now we just need this side. This goes here. Okay, so I'm gonna need these pieces and one of these pieces, but I don't need this piece, so we're putting that out. And we just need to add glitter to these pieces. It is almost warm enough outside for me to start working in my office, which is actually kind of exciting. I know you guys are probably going to miss the little fur balls, but it'd be nice not to have to worry about them getting into everything and their hair getting into everything. That does not go there. I didn't think that through, did I? I didn't think that one through, did I? I need to rotate this piece in order to get it to fit as a puzzle. It does fit, but now I gotta get that powder on it. Alright, let me see. This is almost cleaned off. Alright, so slight snag. I do need to top coat these anyways, but I also want to have the glitter on all pieces. So I am just going to put a tiny bit on, mush this around, hopefully just enough to coat some powder on it. Probably let it sit for a second. I can probably do this with my finger. I don't want to ruin this brush, so I'm not going to try not to touch the puzzle piece. We'll see how that looks. That's one piece that needs to be that way. Hopefully it is only that one piece that needs to be that way. Can I help you, demon? That will be fine. These are all fine. This piece is going to need to reverse. Okay, I'm going to have to remember that. So I'm not putting powder on the bottom of that because I'm going to flip it anyways. So I'm just going to fill this UV resin. I'm going to cure it. And that is the last piece that I need to do. I'm gonna have to clean these puzzle pieces off. And once this is done curing, I'm taking these gloves off for the tattoo portion. So I hate gloves. I don't need them on for that part. This is already gonna be cured and I don't want them getting in the way because they are getting a little sticky. And hopefully those pieces that are gonna be reversed aren't gonna look funny because of the glitter being different. But we are gonna find out, aren't we? And if that's the case, I'm going to need to do a little experimenting on what's going to work the best. So they look a little more consistent and even. All right, let's take this over here, flip this, cure. I mean, technically, it kind of looks better, minus the texture. We are definitely going to see, I don't know if you can see a little texture from the finger being, but I mean, not too bad. We'll see what happens when we top coat it. Maybe it'll even out all the color, because this is technically on a flat. And top coating it is going to shine it up a little bit too, because these, they're shiny, but they're not super shiny. So we will see how that looks. Who knows, maybe putting them on top afterwards is going to be better. Let's put you here. We'll take you out of your mold. You need to go that way, and we are going to add a little dab of resin and some glitter. Give that a good cure, and these gloves are coming off. While that's curing, I am going to go get a rag or a paper towel. And I already have water. That's still a little tacky. How about these? Oh, those are good. Let's put these together. See what I mean by just a little piece in the way is going to make a huge difference to whether or not this puzzle piece is going to be easy or hard. It's going to be one difficult puzzle put together, that's for sure. Maybe it was better to get the cheaper pieces. If I can find where I stuck them, I will show you what I mean. I think they're in a box somewhere easy to get to. You fit a little too snug. You may need to sand some of the edges a little bit just to soften them up. Most challenging puzzle yet. That's not going in right. Why are you not going in right? Come on, get in there. Fit for the most part. I'm gonna wind up breaking my poor table. Oh, this last piece is gonna be a pain in the tushy. May have dripped a little bit too much on the side of this piece when I was doing it. Because it's not going in. May need to sand it down a smudge a bit. Oh, there it is. I see it. Okay. Where am I have a sanding tool somewhere. I have these little sanding tools. I'm pretty sure I got these from Let's Resin's polishing kit, because apparently I dripped a little over the edge, and that is why it is not going in right. So I am just gonna try to sand that in a little bit. Just be very careful you're not ruining, the piece. Let's see where else. Right here, a flat one. And they come in all different shapes for the sanding tool. Right here. Alright, now let's try that. A bit better, but I'm still not getting it in. Wow, I really dripped, huh? Ah, there we go. Ha! So these tools are going to be really good if you actually want to do these. I will have that linked in the descriptions below. I'm pretty sure it came in a kit though. Now that is put together and this is working the way it's supposed to, let's take this lovely little tiny tattoo out and try to center this on the puzzle as best as I possibly can, and just to see it does hang a little bit. And I want to take this. Oh, is that even part of the? Oh no, that's not going to be an issue. Okay, I'm going to do this upside down first because I want to see what I'm doing. Make sure this hits all the edges that I wanted to. Oh, you can see right through it. Oh, that. I'm doing that puzzle piece I wanted to do. Then we are going to get a paper towel, some water. Once you're happy where it's sitting, dampen this up. Just apply to your tattoo and let it sit. Check in on it. That's coming up quite nicely. I don't see any spots staying on the paper. And voila! Look at that. That is so cute. All right, now let's see if we can break. Where's my X-Acto blade? I'll be right back. The pieces. Might actually just push down on this a little bit, make sure they're staying to the puzzle piece and nothing else. And then we are going to top coat each piece, because definitely don't want to do this together because you're going to seal it all together, and that's not going to be fun to break apart. And definitely try not to drip like I did with one of these pieces. I am going to go get a good X-Acto blade. I'll be right back. So for this part, you want to be very careful not to cut yourself, for one. I just want to kind of screw between each of the spaces to make sure that this separates. See, like this sticking up. Push that down. Just make sure it separates so I can pull the pieces apart without ruining the picture. You don't need to get very fancy, shove it in there. You don't need to hurt yourself. Make sure you don't ruin your tattoo. Push it down wherever you need to. And check the way it's looking. If it looks like it's still attached to itself, just go over that spot again and just break it up. And you should be able to see right where they're lifting. At least I can. Might do this with a water slide because I think that might come out a little darker. These are a little transparent, although I kind of like how that looks. Tattoo starting already come off, so you need to really be careful because I'm already ruining this tattoo. I just want to, I think it's because it's starting to dry. Hold on, let me wet this up a little bit. See if that helps. Yeah, there we go. So make sure you keep these wet. Once they start drying, they start flaking on you. At least until you get the top coat on. Perfect. All right, now I want to get some clear resin. Where did I put that? Or should I do the varnish? I got another bottle. It doesn't have any pigment in it. At least I'm pretty sure this has no pigment in it. My gloves back on. And then we are just going to gently smush this around without getting it over the edges this time. I'm going to let that sit. If you do drip over the edge, just clean it up before you cure it. That way your puzzle piece will fit after you're done. You don't want to sand this afterwards. Trust me, that wouldn't be fun. Of course, you can also use a tool if you need to. Pushing this around a little bit, letting it sit so you don't have any finger marks. You want teams. And this tool is working really good to push it wherever I need it. And just let it sit to smooth and level itself out. And then you can cure all of it all together for the 90. What do I have that stuff? I think it's the 99. 90 or 99, depending on which, what kind of lamp you have. You do want to make sure this is going right to the edge without going over. And this will seal the tattoo right in. Hopefully without lifting it before I cure it. Now, I didn't warm this bottle up, which is why it's giving me such a hard time trying to get the resin out of it. Try not to scrape, even with these little silicone tools, so you're not taking the image right off. Because I already had a couple of pieces come off while I was just trying to cut it. If you feel like some pieces need a little more resin, just drip a little on there. If not, or if you need to take a little off, just ever gingerly scoop it out. Preferably on a spot that doesn't have a tattoo on it, so you're not worried about taking the tattoo off. This is a very tedious task, so please take your time and be very patient with it. I have 3 more pieces left. This is taking quite some time to do. Should have started with the back ones first, and then I worked my way closer to myself. But I wasn't thinking of that at the time. I'm hoping I'm not doming these too much. Because again, you still want these puzzle pieces to fit when you're done. They keep moving on me everywhere. I can't tell how poorly I've top coated these. If any of them are dripping, I know they are pulling away from the edges, which is kind of fine. So this puzzle is going to be a little on the bumpy side when you put it back together, but that is quite alright. As long as you can tell with the images, it's just going to probably look like a really cool rippled water effect. That was it, right? I'm going to give this a final look over, see if it needs to shift anywhere, add a little resin to anything. Some of these pieces look really good, others, no. I suppose I could use a little more resin in this one, pulling too much from the edge. Let that sit and settle for a second. The rest of these are looking really good. As far as I can tell, nothing's dripping, but we are going to find out after we cure this. So I'm going to be gentle with my tool. Try to clean it off real good. I wasn't supposed to use that one. I'm going to move these a little closer together. Oh, that felt like it's stuck. And as long as they are not touching anything, just want to put them together so they fit under the UV lamp as much as possible. I'm going to guide this over here a little bit. Remember, it is best to do this on a nice level surface. I should technically have a little level block because I can't level out my table. But it is what it is, so we are going to see how this is going to work. So far, I'm liking, so you can tell the difference between the two pieces I made because I already picked them out. So if I were to do this again, I would do the pieces first, then put the powder on top. Nice, kind of brush with the fingers like I did, trying not to get it to go over the edges. So that way it all looks pretty similar, but I am liking the effect of both of them. The smoother one being brushed on as well as the one being put on with the finger. And liking the iridescence with the fish. It looks really nice, but we will see how this is going to be once we put it together. I do want to wash the pieces with some soap and water because they are a little... I don't know if it's the quality of this resin. I do need to do a comparison video for different types of UV resin. This is just a cheap brand I found on Amazon. I can compare it to, like, say, resin is a very nice, expensive brand. But they have different types, like low viscosity. They have a diamond, not a diamond, a hard setting one for making, I think. I saw it at one point. And then, of course, there are other brands like Unicone Art, Texpert. Some of the other brands that I use, I can do a comparison like I did with the resin powders and see if one is better than the other for these kinds of things. Alright, let's see how this is. Okay, that's good. That's slightly tacky. Alright, I am going to go clean these off real quick with some soap and water to get rid of some of the tack out of them because I don't want to lose the shine. These are actually really pretty. Let me see the fishy. You can see two of the fishies. In fact, you can kind of a little bit where the tattoo lifted as I was doing this. So you definitely want to be careful on how you are putting these on and cutting them. These are technically delicate until Haha. You seal them in, but check that out. That looks really cool. This is coming out quite nice. These are really hard to put together. I'm definitely going to clean these off real quick and I will be back. All right, so that I washed this off and I put it together where I can put it on my sink and put pressure on it without having to worry about breaking my table. But this came out so nice. Look at that iridescence. Looks like the fish are in a nice water. You can see a little bit of the ridges from the top coat. And this is a nice tight puzzle. Like I said, the cheap ones that I bought, let me go find those pieces real quick. So here's a couple of the pieces. They wiggle around. They're not as a tight fit. And I did leak a little bit on some of these. So as you can see, they're very loose, they're very gappy. So it does, if you want to do something like this and do an actual working puzzle, this is very tight to put together. You're going to have this on a nice hard surface to be able to push down and get these pieces to fit properly. But you can pull them apart. There we go. Again, tight. And then with the pieces being exactly the same, literally the same 4 pieces, you only get 4 different pieces to work with, makes the puzzle a lot harder to put together. In fact, when I was putting this together, I had the tail over here and I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't go there. So I was already putting some of it together in the wrong spot and it doesn't matter which way, up or down, sideways. You know what I mean? This is really cute. Probably more for adults than children. I do know there are plenty of adults that love puzzles. And even if you put it together and have it as a nice little piece, because my cousin gave me a puzzle she put together and framed. I never put it together. I never took it apart. It's still in its frame. It's a nice glow in the dark puzzle, which by the way, you can get glow in the dark tattoos. That would be really cool. So you can make this as small or as big as you want. Just remember, the bigger the puzzle, the harder and the longer it's going to take to do these. I think this took a good, what was it, a half hour at least just to top coat these, what is it? How many pieces is this? 3, 6, 12. 12 pieces, a half an hour to top coat these to make sure it didn't make a huge mess. And I washed it with shampoo, oh my gosh, dish soap to take some of the tack out of it, because sometimes you can cure it under like 20 times and it still has that tacky coat to it. Just a little dish soap and it takes the tack right out. Again, I do want to test to see if better quality resin does the same thing, but do not use alcohol or the Clorox wipes, because you will take the shine right out of these and then you're going to need to retop coat them or polish them, which I've yet to play with. But so that is it for today's video. I really do hope you enjoyed this as much as you enjoyed the other tattoo video that I have done in the past. I think the one that everyone's been watching is number 7, the 7th video I did, I should say. So I'm hoping you guys enjoy this one. I haven't seen, again, just because I haven't seen it does not mean it has not been done, but I haven't seen anybody turn one of these into a puzzle. And I really did have fun doing that. The puzzle. You can do it with epoxy resin. Just remember, you're probably going to stick with the 4-hour fast cure because it's going to take you a long time. You only have 4 pieces to work with. And if you do the epoxy, the polymer resin, that sets in 10 minutes, but you have to make just enough to put in the 4 puzzles. And that might be a little more tedious. If you've got the patience and you don't think you're going to waste it, by all means, knock yourself out. That would be awesome, because you'll get a nice solid white puzzle piece and you don't have to worry about it being this faint color. Not that I don't mind this faint color. This is gorgeous. I love this effect. The almost milky, I guess you can say. It's not quite milky. It's actually like frosty. There you go. The frosty look of the resin with the color shift and having an image, almost like a kind of transparent image, really adds a nice, pretty effect to this type of resin. So I will see you guys in the next video. I hope if you liked the video, hit the thumbs up. Share the video with people you know who are going to enjoy watching this. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Hit the bell. It'll let you know when I have new videos released. And of course, as always, subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Blessed be. Bye.